Oh, I married a celebrity. I had 6 kids with him. That's another thing, trying to be Latin, right? And I have a great relationship with the Latin people. I know. They like to have children, okay? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, frankly, and very strongly welcome to episode 20 of the Donald J. Trump. Wow, look at that podcast. There were all these haters and losers. They said he's not going to make it to episode 20. And look, a lot of my haters are going down, right? You've got Alec Baldwin. He did a horrible impression of me on Saturday Night Live, and apparently he's under arrest for double homicide or something, so we'll get to that. Yeah, that little girl, not so little anymore, the climate girl, right? The climate girl from Sweden or someplace, right? Someplace where they have little squiggles on top of letters. I think they call her Thornburg, Greta Thornburg. She's under arrest too. It's almost like all Trump's haters are really going down this week, including Sleepy Joe. He's under investigation too. It's almost as if karma is coming back with a vengeance against all my haters. And speaking of haters of mine, there's a particular talk show, a women's talk show on ABC, daytime talk, and they call it The View. And these women, I actually have a little intel on The View. It's actually a psyop to destroy women, okay? These people are paid by Andrew Tate. Andrew Tate is funding The View really to make women look horrible, so little girls see it. They get low self-esteem, and they end up selling their bodies for Andrew Tate, for the Tate brothers, who are in prison now for human trafficking, okay? So The View, Joy, and Whoopi, and all the people, they're funded by human trafficking. I want to show you this clip. If you've got children in the room, viewer discretion advised. Joy Behar, whose name, by the way, there's no joy with Joy, all right? Her name should be called, they should call her something terrible like 9/11. She should go to court and change her name to 9/11 because that's what she reminds me of. Take a look at this clip. We've got a lot of stories to get to today. Take a look at Joy, the unjoyful Joy, talking about dating. It's a real beauty, right? Imagine going on a date with Joy. I'd rather be like Andrew Tate in prison, but take a look at this.
You know, there's one topic that most people like to keep to themselves, and that is how much they make for, salary. But there's a correspondent at a magazine, Business Insider, and she wrote that we shouldn't be afraid to talk openly about it. And she goes on to say that she even brings it up when she goes on a date. But I would reject a guy who tries to impress me by bragging about his salary. You want to impress me? Tell me you've been to therapy. That's what I... Frankly, that
would on the couch.
That
you
would
can come
impress.
into my bed.
Yeah, I don't care how much money they make. I'm not interested.
They're all saying they're not interested. Oh, we'd rather a guy who has no money, who sees a shrink over a guy like Donald Trump, who's got billions and billions of dollars. And I say that on dates. And I've never had a bad date, okay? I've never had a bad date in my life. I would get laid on day one, sometimes even before we get to the date of the limousine, things happen. And I would always lead with, I'd walk up to women, and everybody knows who I am because I'm on television. I've been a star for years, but I would walk up to women and say, I have billions and billions and billions and billions of dollars. And you know what? That strategy never failed, okay? And all these women, they're full of baloney, okay? They're full of crap. They're all sitting there for television. Oh, I don't like guys with money. I like guys with nerdy guys who wear glasses and talk about women's issues, right? Women don't like these guys, okay? That I can tell you. And all my women are very taken care of. They want men who are strong, who've got strength and stamina like Trump. Melania gets whatever she wants, okay? She gets whatever she wants and she's happy. Unlike those squawking birds sitting there at that table. I don't know what the hell's going on, okay? And really, like I said, they're funded by porn sites and the Tate brothers, and it's just they want women to look bad. They want women to look bad, so The View is totally fake. But look, we've got a lot of news stories to get to today. Like I said in the opening, all my haters are going down, and they're going down hard, and they're going down fast. I mean, it starts from the top all the way to the bottom. Sleepy Joe, we'll get to that. He actually called me in the middle of the night. But look, Alec Baldwin, he's under arrest for shooting the people on staff of his film that he was also producing. Okay, so there's a lot of, they call it culpability there. Might have been premeditated. We don't know, but we're looking into it very strongly. My people are informing me. Rudy Giuliani is telling me. But and then you got the wife, right? You got Alec Baldwin's wife, who was exposed as a fraud and a fake, right? She says, "Oh, I'm from Mexico, or I'm from Italy or something, the Latin country. What is it? Spain." And she's like, "Oh, I love Alec. I love tacos, and I love Alec Baldwin. Oh my God." Turns out this chick was born in Boston, Massachusetts. She talks like me, right? She talks like me. Not that big of a difference between a Boston accent and, frankly, a New York accent. But you got, and her name's Hillary, right? Like Crooked Hillary, who I beat very handedly. She calls herself, it's not Hillary, it's Ilaria. She turns the H into an E. It's a total horror. So now her husband is in big trouble. He's in hot water, okay? And he's under arrest. He's got to turn himself in, and he's going to be put on trial. And then you got, now the accent is back, right? So it almost appears as if the more trouble Alec gets in, the Spanish accent comes back. I want to show you this clip. It's a total horror. This family they're collapsing, okay? They're collapsing like the economy under sleepy Joe Biden. Take a look at this clip.
I'm gonna tell you what I'm gonna say. You're not gonna ask me questions. I'm gonna tell you.
Moments before this, cameras were up in her older children's faces. And then, carrying their newborn daughter in her arms, an emotional Ilaria decided to gather the mob of media in a gaggle outside of her New York home.
I want you guys to realize that we have 7 kids. And you being here to escort them to school and to be there when they come home is not good. So on a human level, you guys know I'm not gonna say anything to you. You know that. So please, leave my family in peace and let this all play out.
To leave my family alone. As the seconds go by, she's forgetting how to talk. It's almost like each second you watch, the accent gets faker and faker. And she's forgetting, as you remember, she pretended as if she didn't know how to pronounce cucumber. Cucumber. Okay, this is a chick who grew up private schools, all white, right? All Caucasian in Boston. And she says, "I don't know how to say cucumber." And now the husband's in trouble. She's hiding behind the baby. She's got the big sunglasses on. She acts like she doesn't like the press. She loves the press. "Oh, I married a celebrity. I had 6 kids with him." That's another thing, trying to be Latin, right? And I have a great relationship with the Latin people. I know. They like to have children, okay? They like to have children, and it's good. It's God. God wants us to procreate children, right? Unlike the climate terrorists, they say don't have any kids, eat bugs like the World Economic Forum. We're going to get to those people later. But she's hiding behind the baby. She's in the big sunglasses. She wants attention, and she's like, "Oh my God, mi amor, guacamole, taco, burrito, If Alec gets convicted, she's gonna full on just move to Mexico. Okay? She's gonna cross the border the other way, if you want to know the truth. But it's such a horror. This woman needs to be stopped. The family is, and hang on, whoa. Wait, my producer's in my ear. We have news that Alec he was supposed to turn himself in. He's refusing to turn himself in. We have live footage of Alec Baldwin on the run. I can't believe it. Do we have footage? Okay, let's cut to the footage.
The intersection of the 5 and the 91 freeway. One thing we have been noticing, again, it's a very slow pursuit, followed by numerous highway patrol vehicles. But because of the intensity, it seems like people have heard about what's going on. And all the overpasses that we've seen have been lined with cars. What has been going on down below as
Wow. I cannot believe this. Alec Baldwin, and we're gonna be monitoring this very closely as we do the broadcast. Alec Baldwin is now fleeing the law, fleeing the authorities. It looks like he's in a white, almost sort of looks like if I were to say like a 93, 94 Ford Bronco. Interesting, right? I guess he stole an old car and he's on the loose. Wow. The wife is losing her mind. The husband is on some freeway somewhere, probably in New Mexico, and we're going to monitor this very closely. Such a disgrace. That's what happens when you come after Trump. Your life goes down the tubes. Meanwhile, I just rise up from the ashes like a sparrow. We call it Sparrow, right? Very inspirational. So we're going to keep an eye on that. And in other news, I attended the funeral of a wonderful diamond of diamond and silk, and I went to the church. I had a great time. You know, the African Americans, they have so much rhythm, right? There's so much rhythm and song and dance. There's song and dance people. The African Americans are song and dance people, and I can really feel the spirit. When I'm in there, I'm feeling the spirit, and I went up and I did a speech, a tremendous speech. Everybody said, we've heard Martin Luther King, Dr. King speak. We've heard Reverend Jesse Jackson. We've heard all the greats, and nobody quite captures the spirit of the black church like you, Mr. Trump. And I said, you know what? It's because I have a tremendous relationship with you people. You're wonderful people, and I went into the spirituals, right? We call it the Negro spiritual. And I went up, amazing grace. So struggling. How sweet, right? How sweet. Unbelievably sweet, like candy, like high fructose corn syrup sweet, like, like a Jolly Rancher. The sound, right? And then the humming. So great, right? And we got along, and it was a great send-off. Diamond up to heaven. And then I come home and I turn on the television, and I see Sleepy Joe Biden in a black African-American church. And he doesn't have the rhythm. He doesn't get along with these people because he's sick. He wants to put them all in jail for the crack, which we'll get to because he called me this weekend and he's smoking crack himself now. But take a look at Biden in the black church. He doesn't have the rhythm. Rap Snacks, our great sponsor. He doesn't have the rhythm like Trump. Take a look at this. He doesn't know what the hell is going on. Just standing there, and I can't feel, right? I could feel it. Trump could feel it. I could feel it. I could feel the soul and the spirit. Just Sleepy Joe, he doesn't like black people. Okay, he's scared. He's scared of the black people. As you see, he's standing there all stiff with his hands by his sides because he thinks they're going to steal his wallet. That's why his hands are by his sides, okay? I know racist people. When they're around the blacks, they're like, where's my wallet? Donald Trump, when I was at Biden's funeral, I just left my wallet on the table. I didn't think anybody's going to steal it. And guess what? Nobody did. None of the African Americans stole my wallet. But Biden, he's stiff, he's scared, and it's such a disgrace. And yet the blacks, they still vote for him. And I don't know why, but I think we're going to change that in 24. But look, speaking of Sleepy Joe, I get a phone call in the middle of the night. I wake up, the phone goes off, okay? Melania's fast asleep. And I answer, and I hear a guy on the other end. He's like, hello? Is this, I'm like, hello, can you speak? I'm a busy guy. I don't have a lot of time. Talk to me. And I got deals to do. I barely sleep. Even when I'm sleeping, I'm strategizing, plotting my comeback. Hey, look, it's me, President. It's Sleepy Joe Biden. And I'm like, oh my goodness, Sleepy Joe is calling me. I mean, it's not so unusual in the past for presidents to call former presidents for counsel and advice. So I say, Sleepy Joe, what's going on? He's like, they're after me. Look, man, look, pal, come here. Hey, the documents, they're after me. And Look, I don't know what to do. I know they raided your residence. How do you handle it? And I say, well, look, unlike you, I've got strength and I've got stamina and I'm tough, okay? I'm tough. I can handle anything. But, he's collapsing. The guy's got dementia. He's practically, mentally retarded, if you want to know the truth. And I say to him, look, I mean, it's persecution. You're getting a little taste of your own medicine. The state, they don't want you there. They don't want you there. They want Newsom. They want Gavin Newsom. That horror from California. They want to switch you out, so now they're coming after you. And he's like, oh my God, they're coming after me. Look, what am I gonna do? So then I said, well, look, I mean, if you're like me, you would just stand up to these people. You never apologize. He's up there saying, I don't know. What am I? Where am I? You need strength and you need stamina. And then he tells me he went to spend time with his family, his son, who is a known crackhead. The guy's a known crack addict. And he admits to me he had to be really high. He says, I tried the crack to cope with the horror. I mean, I don't know. He thinks he's going to get, like impeached, which they probably will if you want to know the truth. So he says he smokes crack and he feels awake for the first time in like 10 years. And I said, look, Sleepy Joe, stay away from the drugs, okay? Or, because I'd rather run against him because I know they're going to take Kamala out too, right? So I want to keep him alive so I can beat him in the race. And, he's telling me, I got really horny and I started watching porn. And I said, look, it's too much information, okay? It's too much information. Look, keep your head on straight. And I'm only giving him this advice because, I'm such a good guy. I'm such a Christian person. And we're going to beat him. And we're going to beat him so strongly. But I say, hold it together. And then I hear this deep voice in the background. I hear, Sleepy Joe, it's me, Barack, and we got to clean you up and take you back to the White House. And that's what we're going to do. So, I mean, he's got his handlers, and we wish him well with the drug problem. But look, a lot of things going on with those documents. My documents were nice and legal and clean, but his documents were so fraudulent and so horrible. But I feel a little bad because it's the deep state, right? It's the deep state. They're trying to frame him, and they're treating us both very unfairly. But we're going to take back the White House, and we're going to beat Biden. So you just wait and see, okay? Believe me. Now, speaking of the law, let's check back in with what's happening with Alec Baldwin. Let's see if he's still on the loose.
Along the 5 freeway, coming up again towards the 91 intersection. At that point, we'll just have to
oh my goodness, he's still going. He's still on the run. Such a horror. What a horror. Wow. Well, we're keeping an eye on that. Now, speaking of law enforcement, there was a big story all over the media. There was a female cop named Megan Hall, and she's a woman cop. And as you know, I respect and support the police, but this chick was apparently, and she's got a husband at home, she was having sex, oral, and all types of harm, all types of sex with her fellow officers. She was going topless at pool parties. And I'm like, wow, this is very interesting. And you know what? I could have seen this coming because first off, her name is Megan. Let's show a picture. There's Megan, right? There's her. She looks all conservative in her cop outfit. But then look, this is the evening outfit. This is when she goes out. And I don't mean with her husband, who's, by the way, sticking with her, okay? This guy is one of the beta males that Joy Behar wants to date, okay? The husband's sticking with her. I would have known something was up from the get-go because of the way her name is spelt. It's Megan, Maegan. Megan with an M-A-E. That's porn spelling, okay? We call it porn spelling, all right? You know Megan, like Megan is M-E-G-A-N or M-E-A-G-A-N. But if you put the A in front, now we're like on OnlyFans. Now we're talking about like sign up for $9.99. We could talk and I'll go, horrible things, okay? And this woman, but they fired her. I don't think they should fire her, okay? I think maybe a suspension without pay. I mean, because really, these officers, they're dealing with a lot. They're dealing with so much stress in the streets, and sometimes, you need a little, you need to unwind a little bit. You need to unwind. Look, I don't condone the behavior, but it almost sounds like the plot line of like a porno movie, if you want to know the truth. But this woman is out there, and she's really making everyone feel good, but I feel bad for the husband. But I mean, he should have known with the spelling of that name. I mean, come on. You married a whore, okay? You married a whore, and then he's like the husband is he's a park police. He's a park ranger. He just goes around and makes sure that he makes sure that the trees have bark on them and that the leaves look good. But meanwhile, his wife is like a real cop with a gun. So he's already sort of like cucked by his wife having a much more powerful position than her. And she likes guys of power. Okay, like all women, she wants to be with a man of power. She doesn't want to be with the park ranger who's like, oh, let's hang out with Yogi the bear and make sure that the dirt looks good. No, she wants to be with guys who are doing car chases and cool cop things, okay? So, I mean, I could have seen this coming from 10 miles away, okay? I could have seen this even more clearly than seeing that, Alec Baldwin's wife is a total fraud, okay? If you want to know the truth, okay? And then also in the news, you got Greta Thunberg. She gets arrested, and it's a total fake arrest. I say to people, normally you get arrested, it's a horrible thing. Your life is, in jeopardy. You got to hire a really expensive attorney. But this Greta Thunberg, when you're a climate activist, getting arrested to these people is like hitting the jackpot. It's like, oh, look, I'm getting arrested for the climate. Such a sick way of thinking, but take a look at this. I mean, she has a big smile on her face. She's posing. It's like lights, camera, action. This might have well have happened. It might have even happened in a Hollywood studio with the green screen. Take a look at this. She's got a big smile on her face. And the camera's just snipping away.
You also want those pretty man?
Such a disgrace. Yeah, you've got her posing. There's a guy in the background with a boom microphone, okay? It's like these are the things you see on like the set of Home Alone 2. And it's such a horror, but at least she's turning herself in, unlike Alec Baldwin is on the loose right now. What a disgrace. We've got a couple more stories. So I found this video on the internet. This guy, he's trying to groom kids to come over his house. It's so transparent. The guy is a total molester. Take a look at this. It's a trans person. I have nothing against the trans. Caitlyn Jenner, great, supported me very bigly. Tremendous relationship with the LGBTQ community. But this guy's a total groomer, total molester. Take a look at this. Viewer discretion advised. And I have my own story because people wanted to molest me when I was a child, but I'll tell you what happened. But take a look at this.
If you need a family, you can come hang out with me. They may not see the real you, but that does not mean that you're not real. I love you very much. I'm gonna go cry. With love.
I mean, this guy's totally trying to lure young, innocent children who maybe aren't fitting in. They don't know who they are. And he's like, oh, come hang out at my house. Such a disgrace. And people need to wake up to this sort of thing because a lot of people on the radical left are saying, oh, this is so great. It's so great, right? They're trying to normalize it. It's sick what's happening, right? And once again, I have nothing against the adult people doing things with adult people in their homes consensually, but this guy, he's grooming, right? They call it grooming. They tried to groom me as a kid. I was a very, very handsome boy, okay? I remember I was 8 years old, and one of the neighbors said, oh, Donald, do you want some candy? And I said, candy, okay. I mean, what do you want in return? Because I always knew people are always out for something, okay? I was very smart. I had a big, beautiful brain. So I go into the guy's house, and he said, oh, can I take some pictures of you? And I said, exactly. So you want something. And I said, no pictures, okay? If you want a picture, I'm going to need some money in return. So then he offers me some money, and he says, oh, Donald, you're so cute. I say, wait right there. You're a molester, okay? My parents, they taught me very well. They warned me. And he said, "Oh my God, I've been caught." And then I pulled out, I had a tape recorder, okay? I went everywhere with the tape recorder, okay, to record people. And I said, "You're caught, you're busted, you're gonna go to jail." And he said, "No, please don't, I'll do anything." And I said, "Okay, here's my father's bank account. I want you to wire, I won't discuss the figures, but I said $100,000. And I was already doing deals as a kid because I knew my value, I knew my worth, okay? I knew I was a hot kid. So I sort of put myself out there, and I defeated the system, okay? And, that guy, he ended up in jail for molesting another kid, but that kid was stupid, okay? That kid was stupid. They didn't negotiate money like me, and that's how I became the billionaire that I am today. These kids, you need to be smart. I tell little Baron, if anybody wants to touch you on your private area, tell Daddy, and we'll get money first, and then we'll put him in jail, okay? That I could tell you, and I'll tell you that very strongly, okay? And we were fighting against the molesters very bigly when I was in office, and we're going to continue, okay, when I get back there, okay? That I could tell you, because we all know Biden's not doing that, okay? Believe me. And next up in the news, the big news on conservative social media is Steven Crowder, great guy, great comedic guy, and he's a free agent now, and he wanted to sign up with the Daily Wire, Ben Shapiro, Candace Owens, tremendous relationship there. But the contract negotiations went awry, right? Because I guess he never read The Art of the Deal. But take a look at this. We're going to talk about this story and how I relate to it, okay? Look at this.
Steven Crowder was offered a slave contract of $50 million. You know, slave wages. This after the conservative outlet Daily Wire offered him a $50 million contract over 4 years, with Crowder making a video showing some of the details of the contract, and with it accusing conservative media outlets of conspiring to censor conservative values in favor of profit. The Daily Wire quickly responded with a video saying that Crowder took much of the contract out of context, saying this was a basic contract that could be negotiated, saying if he was kicked off of platforms for things that he said, the reason that he would get paid less is because they would be getting paid less, and going on to accuse Crowder of expecting millions of dollars in payment even if his show didn't drive that level of revenue. And now big conservative names associated with the Daily Wire are speaking out, with Matt Walsh saying Crowder is deceiving you, and Ben Shapiro tweeting it's nasty to attack my company and DW Plus posts as Big Con by lying about the meaning of a non-binding term sheet. It's despicable to plan weeks in advance to attack my best friend and your friend by setting up and secretly taping a phone call all to grow your email list, and then tweeting out a timeline.
Wow, it's very interesting, and I'm not going to take a dog in this fight. I'm wishing Steven well, but, the Daily Wire, they watch this show. They're very aware of this show, and they offered me $1 billion, okay? $1 billion, no strings attached. Unlike Steven, they said no strings attached. Don't worry about anything, but I turned it down because I know that I can make more on my own, okay? And I know that very bigly and very strongly. We have such tremendous fans of this show. If you look at the comments below, people love it. And we're only growing and we're only getting bigger and bigger. And frankly, it's going to get huger and huger, especially as I rev up my race for 2024. It's only going to get bigger and better, okay? And don't forget to always buy Rap Snacks, the #1 sponsor of this show with Lil Boosie. We're doing tremendous numbers with Rap Snacks. And I want to close this episode by exposing what's happening at the World Economic Forum. These are horrible people who want to take over the world. They don't want you to have money. They say it openly, okay? They want you to be happy just renting, owning nothing, eating bugs for the rest of your life. They say, oh, you should put into an app anytime you drink coffee, anytime you take an Uber so we could save the planet. I mean, these people hate freedom, and I want to show you this clip of one of the main advisors of Klaus Schwab, and this guy is in cahoots with Obama and Bill Gates. It's such a horror. Take a look at this clip.
No, I think maybe in a couple of decades, when people look back, the thing they will remember from the COVID crisis is this is the moment when everything went digital, and if this was the moment when everything became monitored, that we agreed to be surveyed all the time, not just in authoritarian machines, but even in democracies. And maybe most importantly at all, this was the moment when surveillance started going under the skin.
Joe Biden. Absolute horror. He says that they want to surveil everybody and that people should want to be surveilled. This is sick, right? And they surveilled me. They wiretapped me. They tried to do everything to take me down, and I'm still standing, and I'm standing very strongly, okay? But take a look. There's even more. These people are sick, and we need to expose them, and we need to expose them very strongly.
Human biology, the human brain, well enough to really understand what's happening there. So in the end, humans remained like black boxes that even somebody like Stalin or Mao or Hitler couldn't really figure out what's happening there. And now it's not just the breakthrough in computer science, but it's the same time the breakthrough in the biological sciences that are opening up this black box. They are enabling to, again, hack human beings, understand what's happening inside, and therefore open completely new ways of manipulation.
They want to hack human beings, see what's inside their brains, and find new ways to manipulate people. I mean, they're saying this out in the open at this World Economic Forum. It's such a disgrace, and there's even more. It gets even worse. And when I get back into office, we're going to take these people down, and we're going to take them down very bigly.
The Hitlers of the 21st century, they will have the ability not just to wage destructive wars. With tools like AI and bioengineering, they will actually be able to re-engineer the human body and mind, which is something the Nazis dreamt about. They always talked about creating the superhumans, the new humans. They couldn't do it. They didn't have the technology. Now imagine a new Nazi regime in the 21st century that uses technology to re-engineer new humans. Now, even if this regime eventually falls, the new humans, the new human bodies and minds would be there. They can permanently alter the course of human evolution in a way that the Nazis couldn't, the Soviets couldn't, no previous regime could.
Crazy psycho. He wants to play God, and he's supporting the Nazis. Okay, he wants to make half robot, half human people. We all saw what happened in Terminator 2. Okay, we don't want that. All right, but there's even more. These people are crazy.
Now, in the past, many tyrants and governments wanted to do it, but nobody understood biology well enough. And nobody had enough computing power and data to hack millions of people. Neither the Gestapo nor the KGB could do it. But soon, at least some corporations and governments will be able to systematically hack all the people. We humans should get used to the idea that we are no longer mysterious souls. We are now hackable animals. Humans are now hackable animals. You know, the whole idea that humans have, you know, they have this soul or spirit and they have free will and nobody knows what's happening inside me. So whatever I choose, whether in the election or whether in the supermarket, this is my free will, that's over.
Hackable animals. This guy believes that human beings, I mean, it's all there. It's all there. Hackable animals that you shouldn't be able to choose what you want to eat at the supermarket. This is what these people want to do. And they want to do it to the whole world. They want to own the whole world. They want to put chips in your head. They want to make sure that you don't have freedom. They want to hack your brain. They want to have one world government, one world army taking over everybody. These are sick people. But you know what? Well, that's why we're coming back. That's why I do what I do. That's why I do this show, to alert the people so the people can wake up and wake up very strongly. And that's why I'm running in 24, and we're going to come back. We're going to defeat this guy, and he's the lead advisor to the head of the World Economic Forum, Klaus Schwab, this guy. Look at that. There's a real beauty. Him prancing around on the beach. He hangs out with that groomer guy, if you want to know the truth, okay? It's all connected. It's all connected, and the only person standing in the way of all that is Donald J. Trump, okay? So look, folks, that's our episode 20. I want to thank you. That's really, we call it milestone, right? Episode 20. That's 10 times 2, 20. It's a big deal, okay? And I know deals, as you know. Art of the deal. Baldwin's going down. Thunberg's going down. His wife, Ilaria, his wife, Hillary, okay? We'll call her Crooked Hillary squared, is going down. Charles Schwab and this other sick person, they're all going down. And we're going to come back, and America's going to win so big. It's going to be so great, okay? And never forget that, okay? Folks, have a great night. Have a great week. And never forget, strength and stamina always wins. It wins big, despite what creepy Joy Behar says. And frankly, it's going to be huge, okay? Believe me. We love the show.
Just have to wait and see which way he's going to go, but at this point, it's still a fairly laid-back situation.
So many deals. Wow, what a great show,